Welcome to the deep dive. So let me ask you this. Are you maybe faced with an IQ test soon? Or do you just want to see if you can boost your performance on those kinds of tests? Maybe even just stretch your mind a bit, improve your reasoning. Well, today we're digging into a book that aims to help with all that. The Ultimate IQ Test Book 1000 Practice Test Questions to Boost Your Brain Power. It's written by IQ test expert Philip Carter and the late Ken Russell. These guys are, well, they were really prolific in the testing and puzzles world. And it's published by Kogan Page.
That's right. And our mission today really is to unpack what a book like this actually gives you. Why have these psychometric tests become, well, so common, especially in professional settings? And maybe most importantly, what specific kinds of mental workouts does it offer? Because it's not just about chasing a score, is it? It's more about understanding the different types of intelligence these tests are trying to measure and, how actually engaging with these questions can sharpen your thinking.
Yeah, and the authors, Philip Carter and Ken Russell, they bring a ton of expertise. Carter's known for actually devising new IQ tests, new puzzles. And together, they wrote something like over 60 books on testing and reasoning. It's incredible. This specific book, the Ultimate IQ Test Book, it actually pulls together tests from their older series, the Times Book of IQ Tests, from back in 2001, 2003, 2005. So it's packed.
It really is. And what's fascinating, I think, is seeing how these tests moved from maybe just being puzzles for fun to being, well, a serious tool for businesses. Over the last, say, 25 years or so, psychometric testing has become really widespread in industry.
Right.
And the main reason, employers, they really need to make sure they're putting the right people in the right jobs right from the start.
So it's about getting that match perfect or as close as possible. What really pushed industries to adopt these formal tests so much?
Well, the authors point to the, quote, high cost of errors in today's world of tight budgets and reduced profit margins.
Oh, okay. The cost.
Exactly. Think about recruiting someone. You've got advertising the job, sifting through applications, shortlisting, interviews, then training.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
Yeah, it's a huge investment.
It really is. And if you pick the wrong person, you have to do that entire costly process all over again. So these psychometric tests, they offer a kind of standardized way to try and predict who's likely to succeed in a role, maybe better than just an interview alone. It's not just about dodging a bad hire. It's also trying to build better teams and hopefully making sure the employee is actually happy and suited to the role too. Avoids that mismatch.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, so let's talk about the 1000 practice test questions themselves. The subtitle says, Boost Your Brain Power. It's clearly not just about doing drills, right? It seems more about understanding the different thinking skills involved. So what kind of challenges are we actually looking at in the book?
Exactly. It's like a workout plan for your brain, getting different cognitive areas. The book generally breaks it down into three main types: verbal reasoning, numerical and mathematical reasoning, and then spatial and abstract reasoning. And what I find interesting is how each type really gives you a window into a specific way of thinking. It's not just random puzzles.
Okay, so verbal reasoning first. What's that sharpening? What kind of mental flexibility are we talking about there?
Well, verbal reasoning is mostly about how well you understand and work with language. It's not just, knowing big words. It's about seeing relationships between concepts, drawing logical conclusions from text, spotting patterns in words, skills you need almost everywhere, really. So, for instance, you get analogies like isotherm to temperature, as isobar is to, and then you choose from options like atmosphere, wind, pressure, latitude, current. You need to see the relationship.
Right, finding the parallel logic.
Exactly. Then there are synonyms and antonyms, finding the word closest in meaning to, say, reverent, or most opposite to impecunious. That tests vocabulary nuance.
Okay.
And you also get word puzzles and anagrams, things like finding missing words or maybe identifying rhyming pairs from clues like measure bulk of grass fodder, which would be weigh hay.
Ah, okay, clever.
Yeah, or solving anagrams, like ovate genome is an anagram of which familiar phrase, 3, 1, 4, 2, clue, make haste.
Ovate genome, get a move on.
Spot on. See, test your linguistic flexibility, pattern finding within language itself.
Okay, so that's the language structure, meaning relationships. What about the numbers side? How does the book challenge our numerical thinking?
Right, numerical and mathematical reasoning. This gets into your ability to, well, work with numbers, obviously, but also spot patterns and apply logic to quantity problems. It's often less about complex calculation and more about seeing the rules behind the numbers. Super useful for coding, planning, finance, lots of areas. So you'll see number sequences, classic example. 1, 56, 45, 11, 40, 16, 35, 21.
Yeah.
What comes next?
Let's see. 1, 6, 11, 16, 21. That's plus 5. And 50, 45, 40, 35. That's minus 5. So the
Yeah.
next two would be 30, then 26.
Exactly. Two alternating sequences. Some get much trickier, like 1, 3, 11, 47, where the rule itself changes. That one's 239. By the way, the pattern involves multiplying, then adding increasing amounts.
Wow, okay. That takes some spotting.
It does. Then there's odd one out with numbers, like which number is the odd one out? 9678 4572 5261 5133 3527 6895 7768 requires you to find the pattern connecting all but one. Here, it's usually about the digits relationship.
Right, like digits adding up or a sequence within the number.
Precisely. And then you have word problems and logic questions. These apply math to situations like, if 5 men can build a house in 16 days, how long will it take just 2 men? Assuming they work at the same rate.
Okay, that's a rates problem. More men, less time. So less men, more time. 40 days.
Perfect. Or logic ones like, how much does a bag of flour weigh if it weighs 1 kilogram plus the weight of half the bag of flour?
The classic riddle type. It has to be 2 kilograms because half is 1 kilogram, so the other half must be 1 kilogram too.
You got it. Test that logical deduction with numbers.
It's really interesting how those aren't just maths tests, but logic tests using numbers. Okay, and the third category, spatial and abstract reasoning. This feels like the most IQ test type sometimes. What's the core skill here?
Yeah, spatial and abstract reasoning often involves shapes, patterns, visual stuff. It's testing your ability to, visualize things in your head, rotate them, manipulate them mentally. It's about thinking outside of words and numbers, seeing relationships and shapes, applying rules visually. Crucial for design, engineering, even just reading charts effectively.
Right.
So you'll find things like identifying missing sections or patterns in a sequence of geometric shapes. What comes next, or what fits in the gap.
Like pattern completion.
Exactly. Then cube folding. They show you a flat net like an unfolded box and ask, which of these folded cubes could you actually make from this net? Tests your 3D visualization.
Those can be tricky.
They really can. And dot placement puzzles. You might see a hexagon with 2 dots placed according to some hidden rule, and then you have to pick another hexagon where you could add a dot so it follows the same rule.
So figuring out the rule and applying it spatially.
Yes. And lastly, things like alphabet or letter manipulation. Might sound verbal, but it's often spatial. Like what letter is directly opposite the letter that is 2 letters away clockwise from the letter that is directly opposite the letter E. Uses the alphabet circle spatially.
Yo, okay, my head's spinning slightly just hearing that. It really shows how different these skill sets are. Verbal, numerical, spatial. Intelligence clearly isn't just one thing, is it?
Absolutely not. And that's a key takeaway.
Yeah.
You might breeze through the number sequences, but, really have to work at the cube folding or the other way around. And engaging with all these different types, it's like a full cognitive workout. It genuinely helps you get faster at spotting patterns, helps you develop strategies for different kinds of problems.
Yeah.
It pushes you to think critically about what we even mean by intelligence. It's clearly a mix of different abilities, and these can often be practiced and improved.
So, wrapping up our deep dive today, we've seen why these psychometric tests are actually pretty relevant in the working world now, helping employers make better hiring decisions, trying to avoid those costly mistakes. And we've really unpacked the variety of mental skills these IQ test books, like the Ultimate IQ Test Book, are designed to measure and help you sharpen, from language logic to number patterns to visualizing shapes.
Exactly. And that really brings it back to you, the listener. Maybe you are facing a test for a job, or maybe you're just curious about your own mind, wanting to give it a good workout. Either way, understanding how these puzzles work, the different kinds of thinking they require, that can be a really powerful thing for your own growth. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How could getting better at, say, spotting abstract patterns help you tackle complex problems in your work or life, even ones that look totally different on the surface?
That's a great point. So maybe think about this as you go. Which of these types of questions, the wordy ones, the number ones, the shape ones, which feels most intuitive to you? And which one feels like the biggest mental hurdle? What could that difference tell you about your own cognitive strengths and maybe where your next challenge, your next mental stretch could be?